What's up, folks? Welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I got Kerry Cassidy joining me today. Lots going on in the UFO disclosure world, and I got to say, folks, if anyone can bring the heat, it's Kerry Cassidy, and I think she's going to give us a well-rounded perspective of what's going on right now. There is a lot of things happening behind the scenes right now. Kerry, thank you so much for joining me.
Okay, so what I was trying to say is that basically this is an ET war. The war with Iran is an ET war. The war with the Stargate, it's over the Stargate in Iran, in the Iranian mountains, that I've been told by the military repeatedly in the past. Okay, this is to control the Stargate because that's how they let beings into this sector.
All right, so Kerry, we weren't recording before, but you're saying that the truth about the Iran war is that it's a Stargate war, correct?
Yes, it's a war to control the Stargates. Okay, and we're also doing a war with China. So people are not understanding the whole layout. I have actually done this on another show recently, but I'm going to go through it again. The bottom line here is that China, it's a proxy war through various proxy states to China. Okay, so when we attacked Venezuela, we stopped the oil going to China. When we attacked Cuba, China has been putting missiles in Cuba for the last year and a half. This was reported even in the mainstream press, but no one remembers it. Okay, so no doubt we have to deal with Cuba. Okay, and then when you go into, so it's Venice, and then Iran. Iran has been supplying, of course, oil, I'm not sure about gas, to China all these years. This is what it's about. We're at war with China, okay? And this war is planned. Back in the day, Project Camelot was told there will be 3 wars. There have already been 2 world wars. There would be a third. It would be arranged. China would be knowing about it in advance. It's planned, okay? This war is planned. What this war is a run-up to a war with ET races, okay? It's a direct run-up to that. So understanding that this battle, the battle for Iraq back in the day, was not over nukes. Nukes is a BS.
Hold on, Kerry. I remember when we went into Iraq, the first place we went to was their museum.
Yes,
right?
And that's a Stargate. There's a Stargate there.
I mean, that's where the military went right off the bat, right to their museums and confiscated everything.
And this is very well known in the alternative community at this point. So what I'm trying to say is what Saddam had done was open the Stargate, okay, was letting in Anunnaki and possibly some other races. He thought he was Anunnaki. He thought he was the reincarnation of Nebuchadnezzar, I think this is the name. So going all way back in history, he was tripping, okay? Maybe he is reincarnation.
But I mean, this is why they've also opened places like Stargate. I mean, I'm sorry, CERN. That's also a Stargate.
Yes, it is. It's a major Stargate wormhole. It's a wormhole to the Draco galaxy. It's how the reptilian ships come in. The very large ones go to the areas where war is being conducted and pick up slave humans, especially women and children. Okay, so this is what's going on our planet. The mainstream press is completely out of step. Tucker Carlson doesn't know what he's talking about. These people do not understand what's going on. And the White Hats, the Space Force are not telling them.
So this is levels.
Telling the real truth about this.
This is levels. I know I cover everything deep state. I try to be very well-rounded, but this is like you have to really expand your mind on this one and really pay attention to Kerry because she's going to take you down a rabbit hole you've probably never been down before or you've just heard about. You've just scratched the surface, but she's going to take us all the way down. And this is impressive because I think anything's possible. And that's why I listen to her and people like her because, folks, we really don't know what's going on out there. So, yeah, I think this is also CERN would be the Stargate you're saying for the reptilians to come through.
Yes, for the large ships, especially large ships. But you got to understand the construction. If you don't understand the foundation of what's going on in Iran and why we're at war with Iran. Number one, they also need a regime change desperately. You're talking about the Ayatollahs and the mullahs. They have been in charge. They have been holding that society back for eons, okay? Especially torturing women, all right? And keeping women down. So I can't believe we got women, Democrats supposedly in New York City saying, oh, don't go to war with Iran. You want this despot to stay in power? Now, the first guy's gone. I can't pronounce the name, something of Khomeini. Now there's another Khomeini. and the second guy is now on his way out. The bottom line here is you've got a young group of techies that want to take over their government. They needed help. They called on the United States. You got to understand what's going on here. This is a major milestone, if you will, in changing up the whole Middle East. Okay. And have you noticed that Iran is having to bomb their neighbors? They don't have any support in the region. The only support they really have is China.
Now imagine if they had
Russia is behind the scenes with Iran, but they're wrong. The prophecies, the Billy Meyer-Hennick prophecies said we would have this third world war. We would go to war with China and Iran, and that Russia would participate, but they would basically go to back the United States ultimately. You know, Putin and Trump have a very good relationship. What Putin does is usually a misdirect, so the people don't really get what's going on, okay? So he is definitely working with the United States on this, as far as I'm concerned. Back channel information, okay? But all these countries, they do understand at the top levels. They understand it's a war over the Stargate. Stargate 10 is one of the main foundational Stargates apparently on our planet that has a lot to do
with Kerry, can I ask you,
our planet.
Can I ask you, you get this information, you've been involved with Project Camelot for decades, right? And you have very valuable.
I know. Okay, I've been told by different military for a long time that the Stargates in the mountains of Iran were major. Then I have read it in the Ashiana Dean. She downloaded from what's called the Guardian Races, 2 amazing books. I highly recommend them. They're on the front page of my website. They're ebooks now, and they're like $20 each. You should definitely read them. You have to understand the Bible does not tell you the true history of humanity. The history of humanity is that we have been invaded time and time again. But one of the major invasions we had was through the Anunnaki that Sitchin wrote about, with Enki, Enlil were the sons of Anu. Anu is an egotistical, vindictive god. That's where the rabbis get their crazy notions. This is not God, okay? It's an ET.
It's an alien. It's an alien. You're saying it's an alien.
And they reconfigured our DNA. They put a frequency fence so we wouldn't live long, because we were living, I don't know, somewhere close to 900 years or whatever it was. And then they stopped that because we were learning too much too fast and they couldn't control us. All of this is in the literature, okay? So this is a backstory. You understand, if you don't understand what's going on in Iran, if you don't know the history. So I'm bringing this to the fore in various interviews. I'm trying to alert people that this is over, and it's been repeated by other people as well. I was just on a show with Laura Eisenhower. We both agree it's Stargate 10 in Iran. It's a battle over the Stargates with Hussein, with Saddam. It wasn't about nukes there either. Okay, he did have chemical weapons, not sure about nukes, but it doesn't matter because it wasn't about that. It's about the ET intervention on planet Earth. You want our military to stand down and do nothing while we're being invaded? You're insane.
So let me ask you this. Hold on, Kerry, hold on. This is a fight of what? Are we fighting against the alien takeover? Is that what this is?
Haven't you heard Trump and Juan say their war is against the deep state? What do you think the deep state entails? Okay, the New World Order, all of them. They are run by ETs, okay, behind the scenes. This is our banking. We cannot change our banking in this world, and the white hats know this very well. The Basel Switzerland families are the middlemen between us and changing our financial system and the ETs that are running the planet. You understand?
I understand, but what I'm asking you is it human beings with good ETs against the evil ETs, or is it humans against the evil ETs? I mean, we have good ETs working with us.
We do have good ETs. In fact, the white hats, I don't know if you don't know this, but the white hats are backed by a race from inner Earth who came forward to help them. They're helping to free humanity from this planet so that we are not going to be a prison planet in the future. This is what Trump and the white hats are doing for you people. Okay, you do not understand. They undertook this huge mission, if you will. And then, yes, they have help. Okay, Melania is ET, an ET contact for Trump. This is real, okay? She's probably Venusian in my estimation. Some people think she's Palladian. I think she's Venusian. You know, this. If people understood the real story, they would be all for regime change in Iran, freeing up the women, the divine feminine that is part of the freedom of humanity. This has to be incorporated to every action and understanding of the divine feminist. Ah, God. I mean, you know, so the fact that some women are so deluded as to not knowing what's really going on, it's a tragedy.
Well, they've successfully turned women against men, and women wanting to be men wanting to be women. That's
Illuminati, you know, that's a Baphomet, right. Okay. Androgynous, Mike, Obama's partner, Mike is a guy. I mean, come on, we all know this.
We all know that.
Okay. Absolutely. You want to go to France, what's their name? Again, the woman's a man. This is what we're talking about.
But Kerry, this is, I mean, you're going really deep into this, but this is still biblical. I mean, when you look at this is still.
Because the Bible was referencing some of this stuff, but it didn't tell you enough. It didn't tell you about all the various, these are not the only ET races that are invading us. We've been invaded since we first came to this planet, we came from Lyra, the Lyra constellation, I guess it's called. And basically it's a huge story. Egypt on the temple.
Right. So when you look at someone like Albert Pike, who wrote the letter to Manzini about the 3 world wars, and 2 of them have been fulfilled, and it looks like we're right in the middle of the next one, right? It looks like Muslims against Christians, Christians against atheists, atheists against Muslims and Jews.
But he saw an outcome that he preferred to see. You got to understand, people are fallible. Someone like Pike, he's an Illuminati. He also he's going to give you twists and turns that are probably some lies. It's just like Michael Aquino, who recently died, hopefully. And he was a military officer for ages. We have dark magicians in our military, a lot of them. Okay, they are part of the satanic Luciferian cabal that wants to run the world. Okay, they want to run it through AI. That's their technique. Now, they're not going to control even AI. So that's what's really interesting, is that we're eventually going to be battling androids and AI. That's eventual. Right now, I have been told by military that they've been trained. They're being trained. Young troops are being trained on how to deal with ETs. Okay. Greys are notorious for deceiving. The Greys are responsible for mind controlling humans to rush our border from 2016 on. They mind controlled masses and masses of people due to the Gray Human Hybrid program that went on. You go watch Logan. There's an X-Men series. One of the episodes or one of the movies is Logan. Go watch it. You see, a lot of this is out there, but it's hiding in plain sight, so to speak.
Absolutely. And people like you that are blowing the whistle, I mean, you've got to be pretty concerned. I mean, they're trying to shut up people like you, correct?
We are concerned by the stupidity of not only the mainstream press, which you expect, but also the alternative press.
Well,
and
hold
even
on, Kerry.
people like Tucker who don't get it.
Right, but I'm trying to go somewhere with this. What I'm saying is, it's almost like they're trying to get ahead of the ball with the UFO disclosure. They're trying to control the disclosure, putting people like Stephen Greer out in the forefront. Trump it is Trump trying to intercept the disclosure and do a white hat disclosure.
Because the Vatican wants to own disclosure. They've always said that, okay, but it's not going to happen, okay? The Vatican is run underground by the reptilians, okay? It's notorious. Blood sacrifice, that's their motto, okay? That's what the Vatican is all about. That's why you have the whole thing. I mean, look, you know them by their ways, all right? If you look at the architecture of the Vatican, you can see the snakes everywhere. It's gross.
Right.
When I go to the Vatican Square, I get ill instantly when I set foot on there. I cannot even hang out there very long. So you got to understand what's happening. These frequency, the reptilian frequency, is to change our DNA, to change our genome, to be more like them. We've been invaded. The Anunnaki, okay, the Anunnaki started out as Pleiadian. They broke away from the Pleiades, a certain rogue group. They went and settled Nibiru, took control of Nibiru, the planet Nibiru. That's right, exactly.
That's the can anyone explain why
Vatican auditorium?
Yeah, that's a Vatican auditorium. It looks like a viper.
Yeah, they don't even try to hide it. It's just that people are so stupid they don't realize. Okay, it's everywhere. I mean, by now I think most people know what I'm talking about, but I'm sure there's a lot of religious programmed people that have no idea. So going back to this, is the important thing here is that you've got reptilians fighting reptilians. It's quite possible that the beings that are running Iran are a different breed, a different sect of reptilian, as opposed to the Anunnaki, who are reptilian humanoids. Okay. This is important, okay, for you to understand. When I lead tours of Egypt, on the temple walls, they have carvings of humanoid, large, 9 foot tall, some 12 feet tall. Those are Anunnaki. However, Bob Dean, one of my top whistleblowers of all time, who passed on by now, he was a command sergeant major. He was given at SHAPE headquarters a thick manual by his superior officers that told all about the ET intervention on Earth, okay? He read it as a junior officer. Then he became a whistleblower. Then I came along and he says, I made him a rock star. But he would say that the Anunnaki are walking the halls of the Pentagon. That's what he says. Okay. This is a military guy. Okay. He was out there risking his life, risking his family's life, by the way. There was payback. His daughter supposedly committed suicide. She was probably what we call suicided. Understand?
Right.
Humans are only waking up to the fact that they have been prey for all these millennia. When your leaders don't tell you that you're prey, that your children are prey, and now with the Epstein files, someone like me, I've been talking about this for many, many years, okay? Investigating it in every way, getting whistleblowers on the subject. But people just ignored me or laughed at me until now. And when the Epstein files came forward, suddenly they have nowhere to run. I've been right the whole time. I've got this wealthy man who sends me $5,000 just because I've been right the whole time.
Thank God. Let's talk about a few of the people that have been blowing the whistle, or one of them, to be exact, a general, correct, that has gone missing. I'd like to
Well,
blow.
he wasn't, as far as we know. Look, he knows something about Roswell they don't want out there. Listen, we at Camelot, in the earlier days of Camelot, we went somewhere. I can't tell you which state, but we investigated a story. We got a tip from a colleague or whatever. And basically, we got death threats. Okay. We had to pack up and leave because otherwise, the people that had communicated with us on the ground, or their families were going to be killed, and so were they. Do you understand this? So this is a serious subject. This is not playing games. Someone like Greer is lying through his teeth. Either that or he's completely mind controlled and doesn't know better. You can take your pick on what's going on with him. When he tells you all ETs are friendly and good guys because they have technology, it's all bullshit. Take a look at our tech sector. You think those guys are good guys? Half of them go to Epstein Island. Come on.
So you're telling, so what would Stephen Greer's role be? Just because it looks like he was very insulted. Well, hold on. He looked like he got like his feathers ruffled when he heard that Trump was going to be the one disclosing the having the UFO disclosure. He wanted to be involved. He definitely
he was just vying for control. I mean, that's typical. Look, he's run by the reptilians. That's all I can tell you. Take a look at him, for fuck's sake. You've got to understand what's going on here. We're a hybrid race. Some of us, the blue bloods, the Anunnaki who run Israel, the Israeli, the Jewish race, if you will, has extra reptilian DNA. This is where the titans of industry, the kings and queens, the Anunnaki created the kingships, okay, going back to the days of Egypt. Do you understand? The crown is it's a symbol. See, humans read symbols. Humans are persuaded. They're influenced by symbols, the use of symbols. When you're trying to mind control somebody, you use symbols, and that includes numbers and the whole numerical system. So a lot of that is to mind control you to their numbering system. All right. So I know there are people out there, they think they're fucking brilliant because they've got the whole numbering system down. That's just bullshit. That is just programming straight from the source. Okay. That's Illuminati programming.
How long do you think we have, Kerry? I know that they have this Agenda 2030. I mean, that's just like 4 years away.
Apparently that's gone by the wayside. You got to give the White Hats some credit here. Okay. You're working with them, for God's sake. NINO, I know you have to play dumb to a certain degree, but please, let's not underestimate your audience. By now, they know you work very closely with 107. 107 is one of the leaders of the White Hat Space Force. Okay. Like Trump, 107 was VP during the days of the Biden show, the fake Biden regime. Biden was dead. Biden was a pedo. Okay. I saw a transcript of a court case against Biden, a person, and online, it's disappeared now. The whole thing detailed how Biden was fed children while he was on the campaign trail as a VP and he was one of the most notorious pedos out there. I'm not kidding. Okay. This matters. Okay. Look at Biden. I mean, look at Obama, and Mike Baphomet. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing a programming going on of the human race.
It just seems, they're really, it's a race for disclosure. And do you think, so you're telling my audience that the Iran war is absolutely a Stargate war? When,
100%. We're talking, and by the way, we're fighting China through proxies, through Venezuela, Cuba, and Iran, and arguably other countries in South America. Okay. We're talking, what a proxy is? The war takes place in that country while China sits on the sidelines. U.S.
They use it for their benefit, correct? They use it as their war, right? They're on the sidelines.
Okay, so it's being conducted through those countries, attacks that are direct on China. This war was predicted. It was planned. Okay, we were told by whistleblowers. I'm telling you, back 20 years ago. I've just been waiting around for this shit to happen.
So we're in it now. We're in the middle of it. Trump has come out and said we won the
Yes.
war. He's come out in a press conference and said we've won. We've sunk all their ships. They got nothing. But you know, people are very much.
Well, I don't know how much
Well, hold on.
how much truth
the
there
holy
is.
war, the holy war that's now going to the jihad, right? And terrorist attacks and this and that.
Yeah.
There's gonna be
You
no
know, I don't buy into that much, okay, to be honest. I don't think they have a leg to stand on. They've got no friends in the area. They've only got China. And yes, China has been massing underground at our borders, even coming into our country through the X-Men scenario. These young military men that are trained to fight, that will be triggered at some point. Yes, in mass.
You know what I find very peculiar? I was there's tunnels all around El Paso, obviously,
Right.
and they've been closed. Like I've seen the FBI, the military there, tunnels that I knew of as a kid, by the way, completely taken over. And that was actually before Trump got in. It was right when he won the election, before he swore an oath. I started seeing them being the tunnels that I knew about were being closed, yellow tape around them, red tape around them, military there. And I'm just like, wow, he's already making moves on it, huh? So pretty interesting that I saw that before he was even sworn in.
Do you remember the troops that looked Chinese and
oh yeah, I saw them here at the airport
being trained in the wilds of Texas?
Yes, they were at the airport here. I saw them here.
They've been reported coming in through the Canadian border as well, training going on in Canada. This is all an incredible war that involves ET races and a kind of a war of worlds that is going to come to the head even beyond where we are now.
So what now that we are in Iran,
I don't believe in war. You're in it, baby. You've been in it and you just didn't know it for so many years. Okay. We have been prey to ET races, and our military is liable for all the deaths of children and human trafficking that they allowed to happen on their watch and never would tell the humans. We're at the time of truth. This truth is coming out. But I've been talking about this for 20 fucking years. Okay?
So why don't we go bomb CERN? Why don't we, why are we even?
Well, apparently, at least what I heard was, yes, CERN was, they even did human sacrifice in front of the CERN gate.
But why don't we, that'd be the first place.
Because but the White Hats did supposedly go behind the scenes and take over CERN recently. That's actually out there. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it's very likely. Because, look, if you're going to do Q and you're going to actually take back our country and the world from the ETs and from the ET intervention and the, New World Order takedown, you have to know about what I'm talking about. You cannot be naive. And then once you face it, then you have to deal with it. All right. So yes, it's very possible that our military has taken control of CERN. They'd be idiots if they haven't. It'd only be because they couldn't. But on some level, there was some battle they lost or whatever. But I think
once we get the Stargate, do we close the Stargate? Do we use it for our benefit? What do we do with the Stargate?
They control it. It's just, it's a door. A Stargate is a door. Okay, it's an in and out area. So it's where something can come in or something can go out.
But these things are natural. They're in Sedona. There's a Lordsburg.
When they're called Stargates, they're not natural. They're augmented wormholes, portals. We have natural portals all around the earth. As I was saying,
I know there's one right up here.
The Middle East is a concentration of major portals on the planet. This is important to know. That's why it's always contentious. That's why they're always having wars. The wars are cover, okay, for the ET intervention in that area.
There's a Stargate or a wormhole or a portal, whatever you want to call it, that opens up right up here at Lordsburg. Have you heard of that one? The Lordsburg door? Lordsburg door. It's
what city is it near?
New Mexico. It's Lordsburg, New Mexico. Oh, really? Right off the interstate. People have recorded and videotaped it opening up.
It opens up. Look at Sedona. I've been to Sedona. Okay. I've been to the gates at Sedona. Okay. You can go there. You can actually feel the power when you're in the presence of it's, a Stargate is a major, build
You
out.
can feel what is it? The ions, the energy. It's just incredible. Yeah. You could feel it in Sedona 100%.
Yeah.
So now that we are in Iran and we've taken over Iran, basically Trump says we've won the war. What's next, Kerry? Where do we go? What about Antarctica? Where does Antarctica play into this?
Well, that definitely plays into it. It's in all these areas. I mean, you've already heard Trump talking about Cuba. Why? Because the Chinese put missiles a year ago and other armaments, you can imagine, into Cuba in preparation for what's coming. We had a Cuban Missile Crisis. My witness, Captain Mark Richards, said years ago the Cuban Missile Crisis was not what people thought it was. That was actually a war with ETs, gray ETs. That's what that standoff really was about. Okay. And Kennedy apparently, did the right thing, at least in that setting. But I think it haunted Nixon throughout the rest of his regime, and all of that. I mean, this.
So what you're saying here, hold on. Let me just say this, because you're very brave. You're coming out saying this very bold. This would be everything you're saying right now would be the true. This is, if what you're saying is all correct, this is the true UFO disclosure. This is what people should be listening.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're at a major war. You see why the disclosure is happening? Because you can't fight an enemy you can't see, technically. But they see them now. They know they're there. The militaries are equipped to fight them now. They've got all the technology they need, and they can see them through certain kinds of sight.
Have you heard about the goggles they were testing out in the Vietnam War?
Yeah,
and the soldiers started going crazy because
Vietnam was also an ET war.
Right.
Okay.
So hold on, let me just say this. So they were wearing infrared goggles to see at night vision, and they were picking up demonic entities in the goggles, and they were shooting out at them. And the guys were their hearts were failing them. They were having heart attacks. Have you heard about this in Vietnam?
Yes, this is actually, it's really, their demonic entities are spider beings who are doing business again now with China. You got to understand the story is much deeper than you're giving it. When you say, demonic entity, that doesn't even really mean anything. It's like saying, is it an angel or a devil? That's just general. Okay. When we're talking about specific ET races that are terrorizing our planet, taking control, apparently those spider beings in Angkor Wat, there's a story about the spider beings that invaded Angkor Wat. Kind of like overnight. Mark Richards talks about this. He said what they do is they come in and they program their prey through the mind of the prey. In the case of Angkor Wat, they programmed to get them weak. They programmed them to think they had a river running through the middle of Angkor Wat. They programmed them to think they had no water. And after they got super weak from not drinking water because they thought there was no water, they kill them and eat them. I'm sorry to say it. Okay. This is the information I have. All right. They were rampant in Vietnam. See, there's certain portals that open up. Some are kind of closer to the ground and some are in the sky. The whole Paradise, California, that was an invasion of ETs. Okay. In the old days, the way we would close a portal that opened up unexpectedly and beings were coming through is to nuke it. You had to put a nuke into this to close it down. That's what Mark Richards said. And then eventually the Pleiadians offered to help us, to show us how to really close them without using a nuke, which is pretty damaging. So this is what happened in Paradise, California. You can, ignore it if you want. There's evidence, okay? There's evidence of this, of the directed energy weapons. It leaves a whitish sort of dusty film on the ground wherever there's been a directed energy attack. Happened again in the Palisades, okay, here in California. This is what we're dealing with. I'm sorry, it's just wake up, humans, figure out what's going on. We're in a battlefield. We've been in a battlefield for eons, okay? And this has all been a pack of lies. I am very sort of dismayed by the fact that Juan and his white hats don't think it's important to tell humans the absolute truth, like I am telling
No, Kerry, the reason I watch trail cams? Because and I'm telling you, because it shows them. They pick up these entities.
Sure.
They pick up. You see this thing? That's a rake, right? I mean, these things. I watch these trail cams all over the place, and they don't lie. They're not AI, and that's exactly. Are you watching it? Can you see it or not?
Of course I am.
Yeah. So these things are all over. People just looked at. That's why I watch trail cams, because they're all over the national forests.
Yeah.
And it's just it's these things exist.
The numbers game, the number of children and humans
missing, right,
here in national parks every year. Where do you think they're fucking going, people? Get a grip. You want to protect your children, don't you? Then you better come clean and understand the truth.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kerry. I'm with you on this, man. I'm trying to find the spider one, because when you're talking about the spiders, really crazy stuff. There's this is just incredible stuff on here. But this is one of my favorite channels, Maximum Fear. But yeah, it's real. I know these things exist. You're the one laughing at me. I'm telling you.
No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the subject matter, because
it's just real.
Reality is real. I laugh because I've been living with it for 20 years.
I mean, yeah, Sasquatch is nothing. Like this, there's stuff on these trail cams that these apparitions,
I know.
This energy, these orbs, these dogmen, dude, they're out there. I know they're out there.
Why do you think that they would take someone down like Saddam? You understand?
Yeah.
See, if you're opening a portal, you're letting everything in. There's no fucking way the military's.
Do you think some of these are some of these are just lab experiments, though? Do you think that they're just lab experiments gone wrong, or? Yeah.
Well, but a lot of these entities are coming from off planet. They're coming from, other dimensions, actually. True.
Yeah. Well, Kerry, is there anything else we need to cover here? This has been very interesting.
Well, I mean, you can ask me other questions.
Well, when are you expecting
history that goes back to adrenochrome? Why Hollywood?
Yeah, be careful with that, because I want to put this on YouTube.
It all links up to the reptilian influence of our planet. You got to understand, reptilians. And they found out, Courtney Brown's remote viewers found out that the reptilians are run by AI, if you can believe that. And that there was a huge AI that was trying to take over our galaxy, for fuck's sake. Humans are so dumb and they don't know what's going on. Militaries know, okay, but they do not educate the public. If you're educated, you can defend yourself and your children. If you're not educated, you are prey. Prey. All right? That's what's going on.
What do you think this disclosure, when Trump comes out and finally says, hey, this is what's happening?
I don't know how far they'll go. Listen, Nino, if I have my say, you can see where I would take it.
Right. You'd go all
if he had the influence of someone like Greer, who's lying through his fucking teeth, because why? In a sense, he's, people that are all about the airy fairy, all the aliens are good thing. Look, if they're good, then you don't have to worry about them, do you? But if they're not good, those are the ones you need to worry about.
So you're saying that you're saying Stephen Greer is not sincere by saying they're all good, they're all benevolent, right? They're all good mannered.
Yeah, he's what he's doing is leaving humans vulnerable to being taken over and controlled and eaten and killed.
So would that go with the alien card, as they come in as our saviors and they're our brothers? And
yeah, have you ever seen the V? Have you ever seen the V TV shows? There was one version a couple of years ago, and then many years ago another one. It's like that. Okay. Yeah. All of those people that are out there saying, Oh, the people, the people on the, 3-Eye Atlas are coming to enlighten us and to help us to ascend. It's nonsense. You got to understand the evidence points to the fact this is an Anunnaki ship, that they're coming back, that they have an agenda.
And depopulation is one of the big parts of the agenda, correct? They don't want that many humans.
But they did that with COVID. They've gotten rid of a lot of old people, what they might call deadwood. Okay, but that's just the least of our worries. All right, that has happened. It's done. It's happening now. There's still plenty of people that are dying overnight, of COVID, but it's fake. It's an alien caused illness. Using graphene oxide, you got to understand, and nano. Okay, there's a book by Michael Crichton. He's a medical doctor that decided to write novels. He wrote Jurassic Park. He wrote Andromeda Strain. He wrote all these blockbusting sci-fi books that educate you. One of his books is called, I believe it's called Prey. Yes, Prey. So I highly recommend that book. It's a short, fun, easy read, but it'll scare the shit out of you when you realize what nano is capable of. And nano is conscious, and it responds to orders from AI, and especially the Borg AI, the major AI running our planet, which is arguably negative. So what we're talking about is, this is a huge story. I could go on for days and weeks with you.
But you want to blow but what you want to do with this podcast is basically blow the whistle, tell people get ready, it's coming, we're in it.
It's here.
A Stargate war. It's here.
Yes. It's
so what you're
all of
about.
This needs to be outed for people to understand. There's a lot of pundits out there who think they know the history, but they don't know the real history.
Is this a book, Michael Crichton?
Yep. And there's another book they should also read so they can learn about the Gray Human Hybrid Program, which is written by Whitley Strieber. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
It's a book called The Greys. Okay, like gray ETs. Mm-hmm. He describes their mind control abilities over large masses of populations. That is what we're going to have to worry about in the future. It's not like so much terrorism in small pockets. Although, they've been doing these sleeping abductees, these sleeping terrorists that are activated suddenly. That's been going on for years and years and years. MK Ultra, the whole thing. When you look at mass programming of the mind of humans and turning them into walking, in essence, kind of like walking zombies, mm-hmm. Right? This is much more dangerous. Crowds of mind-controlled humans can do a lot of damage.
Scary stuff, man.
Yeah, but you know what? In fact, there's a new Steven Spielberg television series. Oh, God, I wonder if I can remember the name of it. I was talking about it. I actually wrote about it. Deep fakes. You've seen that story. It's all about. It's called the Capture. Okay, it's a British TV series. It came out like 10 years ago. I wrote about it. I tried to give a heads up to everyone, and they knocked down my site for like days and days. They absolutely demolished me because I started talking about that. Now it's number one on like Netflix or whatever.
Jeez.
It's picking up on realizing. They're realizing they've been lied to so much. It's up to us to save ourselves, to see through the lies and to listen to people like me, researchers who have put our lives on the line to get the truth out. That's what you should.
And that you have done. I've watched your stuff for decades, man, and I know that you've done that. Kerry Cassidy, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything you're doing. You've done a lot of great work for humanity. And that's why, even though I get kicked in the nuts having you on by you, I still enjoy having you on. It's always a good conversation, and I think it has to be had. We have to have this conversation if we're going to get to the truth, and you have to peel back the layers of the onion, and it gets uglier and uglier. So, Kerry, thank you so much for joining me.
Okay, you're welcome.
Where do
Thank you.
people go?
ProjectCamelotPortal.com or ProjectCamelot.tv. It goes to the same place. All
Project
across
Camelot Portal.
are on my ProjectCamelotPortal.com and ProjectCamelot.tv.
Okay.
That's my website. You get there both ways. Okay, I have tons of social media. I was deleted from everything back in March of 2020.
They haven't given you back your channel?
No, they have never. In fact, they keep telling me they're never going to give me that channel back.
Wow.
They have given me little baby channels with like 11 videos. I had thousands of videos on that channel. I had
so they're
70
totally
million
suppressing you.
They can't give me back the viewers. Even more than my videos is the viewership. You know, that 70 million people around the world were watching my channel back then. Yeah, right now
I remember it was huge, man.
80,000 on my Telegram channel. Don't follow the fakers. There's lots of people being faked. I am being faked over and over again by Telegram people, but they don't have 80,000 subscribers.
You know, I got taken down from Facebook just recently. They unpublished my page. I was at 700,000 and
fuck.
It just that was it. They're like, that's too much.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So there we go with that. But Kerry, thank you so much for joining me. Can you stay with me just for a moment?
Yep.